Question 1.
What is the maximum length of a tractor semi-trailer combination, doubles, on most Pennsylvania roads?
A. 65 feet. B. 75 feet. C. 80 feet. D. Doubles are generally prohibited except on the PA Turnpike.
Correct answer, D. Doubles are generally prohibited except on the PA Turnpike.
Explanation: standard double trailers are prohibited on most Pennsylvania highways. They are allowed by special permit to operate exclusively on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Question 2.
Under federal regulations, when is a vehicle required to be placarded?
A. When carrying any amount of any hazardous material. B. When carrying more than 1,000 pounds of any single hazardous material. C. When transporting a type and quantity of hazardous material that requires placarding. D. When transporting any flammable liquids, regardless of amount.
Correct answer, C. When transporting a type and quantity of hazardous material that requires placarding.
Explanation: placards are only required when the specific material and its quantity meet or exceed the thresholds defined in the Federal Hazardous Materials Regulations. Question 3.
Which of the following is a legal requirement for a driver's record of duty status, log?
A. It must be filled out completely at the end of each work week. B. It must be kept current to the last change of duty status. C. It is only required for drivers who travel more than 8 hours in a day. D. It must be signed by a supervisor at the end of every day.
Correct answer, B. It must be kept current to the last change of duty status.
Explanation: a driver's log, whether on paper or an ELD, must be current at all times and reflect every change in duty status as it happens. Question 4.
What is the primary danger of driving an empty combination vehicle?
A. The vehicle is more difficult to steer around corners. B. The service brakes are less effective than on a loaded truck. C. The vehicle has poor traction and is more prone to wheel lockup and skidding. D. The engine is more likely to overheat without the strain of a heavy load.
Correct answer, C. The vehicle has poor traction and is more prone to wheel lockup and skidding.
Explanation: an empty or lightly loaded trailer has very little weight on its axles, providing poor tire traction. This makes it very easy for the trailer and drive wheels to lock up and skid, especially on wet or slippery roads. Question 5.
In a multi-trailer combination, how can a driver avoid the crack the whip effect?
A. Drive faster through curves to maintain stability. B. Make all steering movements smoothly and gradually. C. Use the trailer handbrake to control the rear trailer. D. Change lanes as quickly as possible.
Correct answer, B. Make all steering movements smoothly and gradually.
Explanation: sudden steering inputs are amplified down the length of the vehicle. Make all steering maneuvers slowly and smoothly. Question 6.
During a pre-trip inspection, after starting the engine, the air pressure in a dual system should build from 85 to 100 psi within
A. 15 seconds. B. 30 seconds. C. 45 seconds. D. 60 seconds, 1 minute.
Correct answer, C. 45 seconds.
Explanation: with the engine at a normal operating RPM, the compressor must be able to build pressure from 85 to 100 psi within 45 seconds. If it takes longer, the system may have a leak or a faulty compressor. Question 7.
If an oncoming driver flashes their headlights at you during the night, what should you do first?
A. Flash your high beams back at them in response. B. Assume they are warning you of a police officer ahead. C. Ignore the signal as it is likely a mistake. D. Check to ensure your own high beams are not on.
Correct answer, D. Check to ensure your own high beams are not on.
Explanation: the most common reason for another driver to flash their lights is to alert you that your high beams are on and causing glare. Your first reaction should be to check your own lights and dim them if necessary. Question 8.
For the best stability in a combination vehicle, where should the heaviest cargo be loaded?
A. At the very front of the first trailer. B. At the very back of the last trailer. C. As low as possible and centered over the axles. D. On top of any lighter cargo.
Correct answer, C. As low as possible and centered over the axles.
Explanation. To achieve a low center of gravity and prevent rollovers, heavy cargo must be loaded on the floor and distributed so that its weight is centered over or between the trailer's axles. Question 9.
What does the applied air pressure leakage test check for?
A. How quickly the air compressor can build pressure. B. Leaks in the system when the parking brake is set. C. Air loss when the service brakes are fully applied. D. The proper function of the safety relief valve.
Correct answer, C. Air loss when the service brakes are fully applied.
Explanation. The applied leakage test is performed by charging the system, shutting off the engine, and holding full pressure on the service brake pedal for 1 minute. A combination vehicle should not lose more than 4 psi. Question 10.
Which of these is an unsafe practice when driving in high wind conditions?
A. Keeping a firm two-handed grip on the steering wheel. B. Reducing your speed to increase stability. C. Driving alongside other large vehicles for a windbreak. D. Being extra cautious when emerging from tunnels or overpasses.
Correct answer, C. Driving alongside other large vehicles for a windbreak.
Explanation. Driving next to other trucks blocks your escape route and exposes you to turbulence. It is safer to maintain a large space cushion around your vehicle. Question 11.
In Pennsylvania, how far must you park from a fire hydrant?
A. 10 feet. B. 15 feet. C. 20 feet. D. 25 feet.
Correct answer, B. 15 feet.
Explanation. To ensure clear access for emergency equipment, Pennsylvania law prohibits parking a vehicle within 15 feet of a fire hydrant. Question 12.
For a 50-foot combination vehicle traveling at 55 mph, what is the minimum recommended following distance?
A. 4 seconds. B. 5 seconds. C. 6 seconds. D. 7 seconds.
Correct answer, C. 6 seconds.
Explanation. A common rule is to use 1 second per 10 feet of vehicle length, plus 1 additional second for speeds over 40 mph. For a 50-foot rig at 55 mph, this is 6 seconds, 5 plus 1. Question 13.
Why is it important to signal and check your mirrors before you slow down?
A. To warn following drivers of your change in speed. B. To help prevent rear-end collisions. C. To identify a potential escape route. D. All of the above.
Correct answer, D. All of the above.
Explanation. Alerting other drivers by tapping your brakes or using signals and checking your mirrors to see their reaction is a critical part of defensive driving and helps prevent rear-end collisions. Question 14.
When should the adjustment of air brakes be checked?
A. Once per month by a certified mechanic. B. Only when you feel a noticeable decrease in braking power. C. During every pre-trip inspection and any time a problem is suspected. D. Only a mechanic is authorized to check brake adjustment.
Correct answer, C. During every pre-trip inspection and any time a problem is suspected.
Explanation. Drivers are responsible for checking their brake adjustment during each pre-trip inspection. This is typically done by checking the amount of slack adjuster travel. Question 15.
If a driver is placed out of service for an HOS violation, they may drive the CMV.
A. To the nearest safe place to park. B. To the next town to find lodging. C. For 1 more hour to reach their destination. D. Not at all until they have accumulated enough off-duty time to be in compliance.
Correct answer, D. Not at all until they have accumulated enough off-duty time to be in compliance.
Explanation: An out-of-service order for an HOS violation means the driver cannot operate a CMV until they have taken the required off-duty time to reset their clocks and be legally compliant. Question 16.
Under which circumstances is it acceptable to operate a CMV with an unsecured load?
A. If the trip is very short. B. If you are driving at a very low speed. C. If the cargo is extremely heavy. D. It is never acceptable to operate with an unsecured load.
Correct answer, D. It is never acceptable to operate with an unsecured load.
Explanation: All cargo must be fully and properly secured before the vehicle is moved. The distance or speed of the trip does not change this fundamental safety requirement. Question 17.
According to federal law, when is a CMV driver required to wear a seatbelt?
A. Only when driving on an interstate highway. B. Only when transporting hazardous materials. C. At all times while the vehicle is in operation. D. It is recommended, but not legally mandatory, for CMV drivers.
Correct answer, C. At all times while the vehicle is in operation.
Explanation: Federal regulations require that the driver of a commercial motor vehicle be properly restrained with a seatbelt at all times while the vehicle is being operated. Question 18.
If you are involved in a collision, what is the first and most important action to take?
A. Call your company's safety department. B. Check for any injuries to yourself and others. C. Move your vehicle out of the flow of traffic. D. Take photos of the accident scene for insurance purposes.
Correct answer, B. Check for any injuries to yourself and others.
Explanation: The first priority at any accident scene is human safety. You must immediately check on the well-being of all involved persons and call for emergency medical services if needed. Question 19.
What is the function of an engine brake, such as a Jake brake?
A. To help the engine warm up faster in cold weather. B. To increase the engine's audible volume. C. To use engine compression to create a retarding effect and slow the vehicle. D. To serve as a secondary brake system in case of service brake failure.
Correct answer, C. To use engine compression to create a retarding effect and slow the vehicle.
Explanation: An engine brake, or retarder, alters the engine's operation to create a braking effect, which helps control speed on downgrades and reduces wear on the service brakes. Question 20.
What is the purpose of a vehicle's suspension system?
A. It prevents the truck's frame from scraping the ground. B. It keeps the wheels and axles in alignment and cushions the load. C. It prevents the tires from wearing unevenly. D. It improves the vehicle's fuel economy.
Correct answer, B. It keeps the wheels and axles in alignment and cushions the load.
Explanation: The suspension system serves two main purposes. It absorbs road shock to cushion the vehicle and its cargo, and it keeps the axles and wheels properly aligned for stability and control. Question 21.
What is the speed limit for a CMV in a Pennsylvania school zone?
A. 15 mph. B. 25 mph. C. 35 mph. D. The posted school zone speed limit.
Correct answer, D. The posted school zone speed limit.
Explanation: All vehicles, including CMVs, must adhere to the specific speed limit posted for the school zone, which is typically 15 mph and is in effect on school days when children are present. Question 22.
What is a critical safety reminder when using a convex mirror?
A. It provides a true representation of size and distance. B. It completely eliminates all blind spots. C. Objects seen in it are actually closer than they appear. D. It should be used as your primary, not secondary, mirror.
Correct answer, C. Objects seen in it are actually closer than they appear.
Explanation. Convex mirrors give a wide field of view but also make objects look smaller and farther away. You must remember that vehicles in your convex mirror are closer than they seem. Question 23.
To properly warn other drivers of an impending turn, you should activate your turn signal.
A. At least 100 feet before the turn. B. At least 200 feet before the turn. C. As you are beginning to make the turn. D. Immediately after you complete the turn.
Correct answer, A. At least 100 feet before the turn.
Explanation. Signaling your intention well in advance, at least 100 feet at lower speeds and more at highway speeds, gives other drivers time to react to your maneuver. Question 24.
What are the requirements for rechecking cargo securement during a trip?
A. Within the first 50 miles. B. After 3 hours or 150 miles, whichever comes first. C. Whenever a change of duty status occurs, e.g., after a break. D. All of the above.
Correct answer, D. All of the above.
Explanation. Federal rules mandate that a driver recheck their cargo and securement devices within the first 50 miles, and then periodically throughout the trip, which is defined as every 3 hours, every 150 miles, or at each change of duty status. Question 25.
Which of the following is an unsafe practice when driving in winter conditions?
A. Using the engine brake, Jake brake, on icy roads. B. Slowing down and increasing following distance. C. Frequently checking that tires and lights are clear of ice. D. Gently applying the brakes to test for traction.
Correct answer, A. Using the engine brake, Jake brake, on icy roads.
Explanation. Using an engine brake on a slick or icy surface can cause the drive wheels to lock up, inducing a skid or jackknife. It should be avoided when traction is poor. Question 26.
What does it mean to overdrive your headlights?
A. To drive so fast that your stopping distance is greater than the distance you can see. B. To use your high beams when they are not appropriate. C. To forget to turn your headlights on at night. D. To have headlights that are aimed too high.
Correct answer, A. To drive so fast that your stopping distance is greater than the distance you can see.
Explanation. You are overdriving your headlights when your speed does not allow you to stop within the distance illuminated by your headlights. This is a dangerous practice, especially at night. Question 27.
When backing a trailer, how should you turn the steering wheel?
A. In the opposite direction you want the rear of the trailer to go. B. In the same direction you want the rear of the trailer to go. C. Sharply at first, and then straighten it out immediately. D. As little as possible to avoid oversteering.
Correct answer, A. In the opposite direction you want the rear of the trailer to go.
Explanation. To make the rear of the trailer move to the left, you must turn the steering wheel to the right. To make the trailer move to the right, you must turn the wheel to the left. Question 28.
What is a highway escape ramp designed for?
A. For oversized loads to bypass a way station. B. As a dedicated exit ramp for truck stops or rest areas. C. To safely stop a vehicle that has experienced brake failure. D. As a special access lane for emergency vehicles only.
Correct answer, C. To safely stop a vehicle that has experienced brake failure.
Explanation. Escape ramps are beds of loose gravel or steep uphill grades built on long downgrades to stop a runaway vehicle that has lost its service brakes. Question 29.
What is the primary cause of a jackknife incident?
A. The tractor's steering wheels lose traction and skid. B. A sudden failure of the trailer's service brakes. C. The tractor's drive wheels lose traction and skid. D. A failure of the fifth wheel locking mechanism.
Correct answer, C. The tractor's drive wheels lose traction and skid.
Explanation: a jackknife occurs when the tractor's drive wheels lock up and skid on a slippery surface. The trailer continues to push forward, causing the tractor to pivot sharply around the kingpin. Question 30.
In a multi-trailer combination, what is the crack the whip effect?
A. The sound the air brakes make during a hard stop. B. The rear trailer swinging out with amplified force during a sudden steering maneuver. C. A technique for quickly shifting through the gears. D. The way an unsecured load can shift violently.
Correct answer, B. The rear trailer swinging out with amplified force during a sudden steering maneuver.
Explanation: a sudden lane change or steering input is amplified as it travels down the length of a combination vehicle. This can cause the last trailer to swing out violently, resulting in a rollover. Question 31.
What is Pennsylvania's law concerning open containers of alcohol in a motor vehicle?
A. It is legal as long as the driver is not drinking. B. It is only illegal if the container is in the driver's reach. C. It is illegal to have an open container of alcohol in the passenger area. D. It is only illegal for drivers under 21.
Correct answer, C. It is illegal to have an open container of alcohol in the passenger area.
Explanation: Pennsylvania prohibits any person from having an open container of an alcoholic beverage within the passenger area of any motor vehicle on a public highway. Question 32.
What is the function of the clutch in a manual transmission vehicle?
A. It connects and disconnects the engine's power from the transmission. B. It helps to slow the vehicle down on hills. C. It controls the amount of fuel delivered to the engine. D. It is a key component of the steering system.
Correct answer, A. It connects and disconnects the engine's power from the transmission.
Explanation: the clutch is a coupling that allows the driver to disconnect the engine from the transmission to change gears or to stop the vehicle without stalling the engine. Question 33.
When loading a trailer, where should the heaviest part of the cargo be placed for maximum stability?
A. At the very front of the trailer, the nose. B. At the very back of the trailer, the tail. C. As low as possible and centered or spread over the axles. D. On top of any lighter cargo.
Correct answer, C. As low as possible and centered or spread over the axles.
Explanation: to maintain a low center of gravity and ensure proper handling, the heaviest cargo should be placed on the floor and distributed evenly over the trailer's axles. Question 34.
What is the correct procedure for performing an applied air loss test?
A. Turn off the engine, release the brakes, and hold for 1 minute. B. Charge the system, turn off the engine, release the parking brakes, apply full pressure to the service brake, and hold for 1 minute. C. Pump the brakes with the engine off until the low air warning activates. D. Drive at 5 mph and apply the brakes as hard as possible.
Correct answer, B. Charge the system, turn off the engine, release the parking brakes, apply full pressure to the service brake, and hold for 1 minute.
Explanation: to perform this test, you apply full pressure to the service brake pedal and hold for 1 minute. The pressure drop must not exceed 4 psi for a combination vehicle. Question 35.
What are the standard colors for the service and emergency airline glad hands?
A. Blue and red. B. Red and yellow. C. Yellow and black. D. Black and blue.
Correct answer, A. Blue and red.
Explanation: the service line is color-coded blue, and the emergency, or supply, line is color-coded red. Question 36.
If another vehicle suddenly cuts in front of you, creating a hazard, your best reaction is generally to
A. Swerve to the left lane. B. Swerve to the right shoulder. C. Brake firmly and be prepared to steer. D. Honk your horn and maintain your course and speed.
Correct answer, C. Brake firmly and be prepared to steer.
Explanation: in most situations, stopping is safer and can be done in less distance than a lane change. You should brake hard but be ready to steer if the situation requires it. Question 37.
A driver is required to have an X endorsement to transport.
A. Any type of hazardous material. B. Any type of liquid in a tank vehicle. C. Both hazardous materials and liquids in a tank vehicle. D. Oversized or overweight loads.
Correct answer, C. Both hazardous materials and liquids in a tank vehicle.
Explanation: the X endorsement is a combination endorsement, signifying that the driver is qualified to operate both tank vehicles, N, and to transport hazardous materials, H. Question 38.
What is the primary role of a spotter during a backing maneuver?
A. To stop any cross-traffic from interfering with the maneuver. B. To see into the driver's blind spots and provide guidance. C. To help unload the cargo once the trailer is at the dock. D. To ensure the vehicle's backup lights are operational.
Correct answer, B. To see into the driver's blind spots and provide guidance.
Explanation: a spotter is crucial for safety because they can see the areas that are completely blind to the driver from the cab. They use hand signals to communicate information about distances and obstacles. Question 39.
Which of the following statements about vehicle mirrors is true?
A. A driver can rely on mirrors to see everything around the vehicle. B. Every vehicle has blind spots that mirrors cannot show. C. Mirrors only need to be checked when turning or changing lanes. D. Convex mirrors show objects at their actual size and distance.
Correct answer, B. Every vehicle has blind spots that mirrors cannot show.
Explanation: despite proper adjustment, all commercial vehicles have significant blind spots that mirrors cannot cover. Drivers must be aware of these areas and check them by looking over their shoulder when possible. Question 40.
What is the function of an air dryer?
A. To cool the hot air coming from the compressor. B. To remove moisture and oil from the air before it enters the air tanks. C. To increase the air pressure in the system. D. To inject alcohol into the air lines during winter.
Correct answer, B. To remove moisture and oil from the air before it enters the air tanks.
Explanation: an air dryer is a filter system that removes water and oil contamination from the compressed air. This helps prevent freezing and keeps the brake components clean and functioning properly. Question 41.
In Pennsylvania, what must a driver do upon meeting another vehicle at night?
A. Flash high beams to signal your presence. B. Dim headlights at least 200 feet from an oncoming vehicle. C. Dim headlights at least 500 feet from an oncoming vehicle. D. Keep high beams on to see the edge of the road.
Correct answer, C. Dim headlights at least 500 feet from an oncoming vehicle.
Explanation: Pennsylvania law requires a driver to dim their headlights from high to low beam when an approaching vehicle is within 500 feet. Question 42.
What does the working load limit, WLL, on a cargo securement device represent?
A. The absolute braking strength of the tie-down. B. The maximum cargo weight that the device is rated to safely secure. C. The weight of the tie-down device itself. D. The combined strength rating of all tie-downs used on a load.
Correct answer, B. The maximum cargo weight that the device is rated to safely secure.
Explanation: WLL is the maximum load a tie-down is rated by the manufacturer to safely secure. The sum of the WLLs of all devices used, aggregate WLL, must equal at least half the weight of the cargo. Question 43.
How is the trailer protection valve tested during a pre-trip inspection?
A. Charge the trailer air system, then pull the red trailer air supply knob out. B. Drive at 5 mph and pull the trailer air supply knob out. C. Have a helper listen for an audible leak at the glad hands. D. This valve cannot be tested by the driver during a pre-trip.
Correct answer, F. Charge the trailer air system, then pull the red trailer air supply knob out.
Explanation: to test the valve, you charge the system by pushing the red knob in, then pull it out. You should hear the air exhaust from the trailer emergency line, which causes the trailer spring brakes to set. Question 44.
What does a yellow, diamond-shaped sign typically indicate?
A. A regulatory command, such as a speed limit. B. A general warning of a potential hazard or change in road conditions ahead. C. Information about roadside services, such as food or lodging. D. A temporary work zone or construction area.
Correct answer, B. A general warning of a potential hazard or change in road conditions ahead.
Explanation: yellow, diamond-shaped signs are used as warning signs. They alert drivers to upcoming conditions like curves, intersections, or slippery surfaces that may require a reduction in speed. Question 45.
If your vehicle catches fire while driving, your first action should be to
A. Keep driving to find the nearest fire station or populated area. B. Pull off the road, shut off the engine, and get away from the vehicle. C. Find the source of the fire and attempt to extinguish it yourself. D. Call your dispatcher on the radio for instructions.
Correct answer, B. Pull off the road, shut off the engine, and get away from the vehicle.
Explanation: the first and most important step is to get the vehicle to a safe place. Pull off the road into an open area away from buildings, trees, and other vehicles, shut everything off, and evacuate to a safe distance before calling for help. Question 46.
When using a fire extinguisher, where should you aim the nozzle?
A. At the top of the flames. B. In a wide, circular pattern around the fire. C. At the base of the fire, where the fuel source is. D. At the center of the fire to smother it quickly.
Correct answer, C. At the base of the fire, where the fuel source is.
Explanation: to effectively extinguish a fire, you must remove its fuel source. By aiming at the base of the fire and using a sweeping motion, you can put out the burning material. Question 47.
What is the primary function of the spring brakes on a trailer?
A. They are the primary brakes used for normal stopping. B. They apply automatically if the trailer loses air pressure. C. They are used to help the service brakes on long downgrades. D. They are only applied by the driver with the hand valve.
Correct answer, B. They apply automatically if the trailer loses air pressure.
Explanation: spring brakes are a safety system. They apply using spring pressure when air pressure is lost, such as in a trailer breakaway, and also function as the trailer's parking brakes. Question 48.
Which of the following defines braking distance?
A. The distance a vehicle travels from when a hazard is seen until the brakes are applied. B. The distance a vehicle travels from the moment the brakes are applied until it comes to a complete stop. C. The total distance from seeing a hazard to coming to a complete stop. D. The minimum safe distance to keep between your vehicle and the one in front.
Correct answer, B. The distance a vehicle travels from the moment the brakes are applied until it comes to a complete stop.
Explanation: braking distance is the final component of total stopping distance. It is the space your vehicle covers after you have applied the brakes. Question 49.
When operating a tanker, what is the primary reason for being extra cautious on curves?
A. The surge of the liquid reduces rollover risk. B. Tankers are generally heavier than other commercial vehicles. C. The brakes on tankers are less effective. D. The high center of gravity increases the risk of a rollover.
Correct answer, D. The high center of gravity increases the risk of a rollover.
Explanation: tank vehicles have a high center of gravity which greatly increases rollover risk on curves. Liquid surge can further destabilize handling, but the primary risk is the high center of gravity. Question 50.
What does the term controlled substance mean under FMCSR?
A. Any over-the-counter medication. B. Any medication that requires a prescription. C. Any substance listed in Schedule 1B of the Controlled Substances Act. D. Only illegal drugs like marijuana, cocaine, and heroin.
Correct answer, C. Any substance listed in Schedule 1V of the Controlled Substances Act.
Explanation: the FMCSR definition includes all substances regulated under federal law, which encompasses illegal drugs as well as certain prescription medications that can impair a driver's ability to operate a CMV safely. Question 51.
When must a CMV stop at a railroad crossing in Pennsylvania if it is not a bus or placarded for hazmat?
A. When a train is visible. B. When carrying passengers for hire. C. All commercial vehicles must stop at all railroad crossings. D. A stop is not mandatory unless required by a signal.
Correct answer, D. A stop is not mandatory unless required by a signal.
Explanation: in Pennsylvania, only specific vehicles like buses and placarded hazmat trucks must stop at all crossings. A general freight truck is not required to stop unless a signal, flagger, or approaching train indicates the need to stop. Question 52.
If you are uncertain whether you have enough overhead clearance, you must
A. Get out of the vehicle and physically check the clearance. B. Proceed very slowly while having a helper watch. C. Assume the posted clearance height is accurate. D. Find an alternate route immediately without checking.
Correct answer, A. Get out of the vehicle and physically check the clearance.
Explanation: never assume a posted clearance is correct or that you can make it. If there is any doubt, the only safe action is to stop the truck and get out to visually confirm that you have enough space. Question 53.
A flashing red traffic light at an intersection has the same meaning as
A. A green light. B. A stop sign. C. A yield sign. D. A broken traffic light.
Correct answer, B. A stop sign.
Explanation: a flashing red light should be treated as a stop sign. You must come to a complete stop and proceed only when it is safe and you have the right of way. Question 54.
For an interstate driver, what does the 70-hour 8-day rule limit?
A. A driver can be on duty for a maximum of 70 hours in any 8-day period. B. A driver may not operate a CMV after accumulating 70 on-duty hours in 8 consecutive days. C. A driver must take a 70-hour off-duty period after every 8 days of work. D. A driver can drive for a maximum of 70 hours in one work week.
Correct answer, B. A driver may not operate a CMV after accumulating 70 on-duty hours in 8 consecutive days.
Explanation: this rule states that a driver's total on-duty time, both driving and non-driving, cannot exceed 70 hours in any rolling 8 consecutive day period. Once the limit is reached, the driver cannot drive again until their hours drop below 70. Question 55.
In firefighting terms, what is an incipient stage fire?
A. A fire that has grown too large to be safely extinguished. B. A fire that is located specifically in the engine compartment. C. A fire involving only the vehicle's tires. D. A small fire in its initial stage that can be controlled with a portable extinguisher.
Correct answer, D. A small fire in its initial stage that can be controlled with a portable extinguisher.
Explanation: an incipient fire is a small fire that has just started. You should only attempt to fight a fire if it is in this initial stage and you have the correct type of extinguisher. Otherwise, evacuate and call for help. Question 56.
What is the correct way to test for a leak in a hydraulic brake system?
A. Pump the pedal 3 times, then apply and hold firm pressure for 5 seconds. B. Start the engine and listen for an audible hissing sound near the master cylinder. C. Apply light pressure to the brake pedal for 1 full minute and see if it moves. D. Drive at 5 mph and apply the brakes as hard as possible.
Correct answer, A. Pump the pedal 3 times, then apply and hold firm pressure for 5 seconds.
Explanation: with the engine off, pump the pedal to discharge any stored hydraulic pressure. Then, hold firm pressure for about 5 seconds. The pedal should not move or feel spongy. If it sinks, there is a leak. Question 57.
For an interstate driver, what does the HOS 30-minute brake rule require?
A. A driver must take a 30-minute break after every 8 hours of on-duty time. B. A driver must take at least one 30-minute lunch break per day. C. Driving is not allowed if more than 8 hours have passed since the end of the last 30-minute break. D. A driver must end their shift with a 30-minute post-trip break.
Correct answer, C. Driving is not allowed if more than 8 hours have passed since the end of the last 30-minute break.
Explanation: the rule states that after 8 cumulative hours of driving, a driver must take a break of at least 30 minutes before they can drive again. The break can be logged as off-duty, sleeper berth, or on-duty not driving. Question 58.
If you feel your trailer starting to skid, you should
A. Accelerate to try to pull the trailer straight. B. Brake hard to stop the skid as quickly as possible. C. Steer in the opposite direction of the trailer's skid. D. Release the brakes to allow the wheels to regain traction.
Correct answer, D. Release the brakes to allow the wheels to regain traction.
Explanation: a trailer skid is often caused by overbraking. The first step to correct it is to release the service brakes, which allows the wheels to stop skidding and start rolling again, thereby regaining traction. Question 59.
Which area around a stopped school bus is considered the danger zone due to limited visibility?
A. The area directly in front of the bus. B. The area directly behind the bus. C. The area to the left of the bus. D. The area extending 10 to 15 feet around the bus in all directions.
Correct answer, D. The area extending 10 to 15 feet around the bus in all directions.
Explanation: the danger zone is the area extending approximately 10 to 15 feet in all directions around a school bus. Children in this area are difficult for the bus driver to see and are in the most danger. Question 60.
What does trailer off-tracking refer to?
A. The trailer is not following the tractor in a straight line on the highway. B. The rear wheels of the trailer follow a tighter path than the tractor's wheels in a turn. C. The trailer is swaying from side to side due to high winds. D. The trailer's brakes are not applying at the same time as the tractor's brakes.
Correct answer, B. The rear wheels of the trailer follow a tighter path than the tractor's wheels in a turn.
Explanation: during a turn, the wheels of the trailer will follow a path inside the path of the tractor's wheels. This is called off-tracking, and the longer the vehicle, the greater the amount of off-tracking.